Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, together with the Presidential Communications Office.
We bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Princess Abiba Saripauda.
And I'm Joe Fernandez from Radyo Pilipinas. Welcome to Balitang Pambansa. Tonight's headlines. Malacanang supports the Iglesia ni Cristo's National Rally for Peace, assuring that government agencies are ready to assist if need be. The Commission on Elections reminds aspirants for the 2025 polls to refrain from campaigning during the Iglesia ni Cristo's National Rally for Peace. Sagip Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta stresses the Iglesia ni Cristo remains neutral amid the political tensions. The lower house declares the position of Committee on Appropriations chairperson as vacant. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden, and Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru eye to bolster cooperation in economic, maritime, and technological sectors. A United Nations report says the country is one of the strongest growth performers in Southeast Asia, where its economy is seen to grow to 6.1% and 6.2% this year and in 2026 respectively. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin assured the Marcos administration will uphold the right of the people to peaceably assemble as guaranteed by the Constitution in reference to the massive gathering of the Iglesia ni Cristo or INC today. The cabinet official says there's a strong belief the National Rally for Peace will be meaningful and peaceful. Also, the Executive Secretary disclosed the government is hopeful the sentiments and opinions expressed in the peace rally will help clarify issues facing the nation and continuous pursuit of unity. Bersamin added one will only achieve clarity once one listens to the side who has a different take on the issue. Lastly, he stated the Marcos administration's views today's assembly as part of a national conversation to clarify issues that affect the country.
The INC Peace Rally was well secured by the manpower and machinery dispatched by the police, MMDA, and concerned agencies, and road closures all around the cities of Pasay and Manila to ensure the INC rally was well insulated against any form of unwanted resistance. More from today's Peace Rally from this report from PTV's Bien Manalo.
It was 3:30 in the afternoon when the program started, which started with the singing of the national anthem. After this, some high officials of Iglesia ni Cristo gave their message. The peace rally supported President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s opposition to the proposed impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte. They also called for unity instead of disintegration. They are also requesting for prosperity and peace for the country. Meanwhile, security for the event was strictly enforced around the Quirino Grandstand. In fact, over 100 personnel, including two light urban search and rescue teams from the Philippine Army's 525th Engineer Combat Battalion, were prepositioned around the grandstand to beef up over 5,000 police and 1,000 MMDA personnel. The Office of Civil Defense National Capital Region also allocated enough resources to ensure the peace rally was orderly and peaceful all throughout. MMDA's Mobile Command Center was also located along TM Calo Street. Manila Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office and Metro Manila Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council also declared the area under red status. There were also medical stations in place ready to care for those in need of medical assistance, and tents put up for shelter if rain fell. There were also portalets around the grandstand. 13 places nationwide also joined the gathering. Meanwhile, some roads have also been temporarily closed to motorists, including Katigbak Drive and South Drive, Independence Road, Rojas Boulevard, Bonifacio Drive, P. Burgos Avenue, Maria Orosa Street, Finance Avenue, General Luna Round Table, and Calao Avenue. As a result, motorists were advised to take alternative routes. Areas somewhat known for protest actions were also under heavy guard. Some parts of Mindanao Avenue had to temporarily close to motorists today to give way to the peace rally. From PTV Manila, Bien Manalo, Balitang Pambansa.
The Commission on Elections reminded aspirants for the 2025 polls to refrain from getting involved or campaigning in the National Peace Rally organized by the Iglesia ni Cristo or INC. Comelec Chair Erin Garcia says they could support but cannot distribute campaign materials during the INC gathering. Furthermore, the poll body chief stated politicians should treat the event like the translation and respect the said activity.
Mga epal na politiko, ginalang po natin ang translasyon noong nakaraang araw eh. So sana igalang din natin ang mga ganitong klaseng pagsasama-sama. At ito po ay napakaganda para sa ating bayan, para sa pagkakaisa.
Sagi Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta stressed the Iglesia ni Cristo or INC remains neutral amid the political tensions. The lawmaker, who is also member of INC, clarifies the purpose of the National Rally for Peace is solely to promote unity and peace. Representative Marcoleta underscores the INC does not take sides in politics, but instead encourages unity in government as the key to good governance.
To say the least, the first session day of the lower house from the holiday break was eventful. The first day is highlighted by a resignation of the head of a committee that fulfills a very significant role not only for the lower chamber. Who this lawmaker is, Daniel Manastas reveals in this report.
As the House of Representatives back to session, the House declared the position of chairperson of Committee on Appropriations as vacant. This post was previously occupied by Ako Bicol Representative Elizalde Co.
Mr. Speaker, I move to declare vacant the position of chairperson of the Committee on Appropriations.
There's a motion. The chair hears no objection. Said motion is carried.
In a statement, Co extended his gratitude to the majority in Congress for accepting his decision to step down as the committee chairperson, saying that the decision was made with a heavy heart and was driven by health concerns. He added how he needs to prioritize his well-being and health from now on, beginning with seeking medical attention he needs. Co takes pride in their collective accomplishments, particularly the Ayuda sa Kapos ang Kita program. House Speaker Martin Romualdez meanwhile addressed his fellow lawmakers on what to expect in the coming weeks, that they will hold oversight hearings to ensure the people's money serves the people's needs.
Sa mga umatake sa atin para tumigil tayo sa mga investigasyon, may mensahe tayo sa kanila. Itutuloy natin ang trabaho na inaatang sa atin ng mamamayan. Hindi tayo atras sa anumang laban para sa bayan.
From PTV, Daniel Manastas, Balitang Pambansa.
It was in the spring of last year when President Marcos Jr. flew to the U.S. Capitol to convene as equal partner with then Japanese Fumio Kishida and President of the United States, Joe Biden, for a trilateral meeting. With barely a week to go in Biden's term as U.S. head of state, the trilateral summit had its follow-up with remote meeting to assess the gains from their first face-off. PTV's Kazel Partilia narrates in this detail.
After a 25-minute trilateral leaders meeting this morning, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden, and Japan Prime Minister Yoshihide Shigeru agreed to strengthen the trilateral agreement between the Philippines, the United States, and Japan. The three nations committed to enhancing and deepening cooperation in economic, maritime, and technological sectors. President Marcos expressed confidence in advancing the initiatives of the Philippines, the U.S., and Japan. On April 11, 2024, President Marcos Jr., Biden, and former Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida convened a trilateral summit in Washington. The summit emphasized the goal of promoting a peaceful, secure, and prosperous Indo-Pacific region anchored on democracy, the rule of law, and human rights. Since the strengthening of the trilateral joint vision statement in April, President Marcos noted progress in bilateral and trilateral cooperation between the Philippines Philippines, the US, and Japan. This progress includes developments in economic growth, technology, climate action, and security. Outgoing US President Joe Biden echoed President Marcos Jr.'s sentiments, describing the trilateral partnership as a historic success. The White House released a statement confirming the trilateral meeting also addressed maritime and economic cooperation as well as China's unlawful activities in the South China Sea. President Biden supports the Philippines' response to China's aggressive actions in the South China Sea, expressing optimism US President-elect Donald Trump would recognize the importance of continuing and institutionalizing the trilateral partnership. Japan Prime Minister Ishiba also aligned with this direction. In December, Japan was among the countries that participated in a multilateral maritime cooperative activity within the Philippines Exclusive Economic Zone. This reflects the shared goal of the three nations to strengthen regional and global cooperation in support of a free and open Indo-Pacific. From PTV Manila, Kalezal Pardilia, Balitang Pambansa.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is confident the Philippines will attain the annual income set by the World Bank to be considered a upper middle income country this year. The Marcos administration is working hard to build key infrastructures to help improve the ease of doing business. Also, the government has improved the situation in the country to attract more investors and ultimately improve the economy.
The United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs expects the country's economic growth to accelerate this year and in 2026, making the nation as one of the strongest performers among Southeast Asian economies. According to Philippine News Agency's report, the UN projects the country's economic growth will reach 6.1% in 2025 and 6.2% in 2026. UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs Officer Jen Kian Huang said that economic growth will be driven by strong investment activity and robust private consumption. He noted improved government revenue collection also enabled sustained public spending on infrastructure, which in turn helped unlock long-term growth potential. He, however, noted there are risks that could affect the growth outlook, such as increasing trade tensions, current account deficits, and vulnerability to climate change.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ordered the Department of Agriculture to ensure the swift delivery of all forms of support to farmers to avoid any delays during planting season. The chief executive emphasizes the importance of timely action in supporting farmers, stressing the need for prompt budgetary support. Meanwhile, the president also instructed the Department of Budget and Management to prioritize the agriculture sector, ensuring timely budgetary support. Up next, the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board in Calabarzon starts public consultation on minimum wage for domestic workers.
And let's find out the President's New Year's resolution when Balitang Pambansa returns. Don't go away!
Ako si Elisa Maylon Galos, taga Agrarian, Surigao del Norte. Ini nga akoan ning ako karon pagkadawat aning title, wala gud namo ni palandunga, pero kadumdum ako sa ako mga parents pa. Grabe gud na to ilahago sa ako parents. Kung ma-imagine na pasidaan sila si nanay, tatay, grabe gud ang ilang kahago, magbaktas palagi ito sila. Oo, tungod lamang sa mga anak. Ang ako ikasulti sa giprograma sa atong presidente nga si Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Ingon man sa atong sekretary sa Agrarian nga si Conrado M. Estrella III. Mapasalamat gud ako sa inyo, sir. Tugda ko nga Sa kini karon nga gikupta na dako nga title sa amoa nagagod nga pangalan tungod kini sa inyo usab nga panlimbasog nga matagaan ang mga katawan o kaugalingon nila nga yuta.
Abangan sa Bagong Pilipinas Ngayon, mga programa sa ilalim ng Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission. Ibabahagi ni Undersecretary Gilbert Cruz. Bagong Pilipinas Ngayon, kasama si Weng Hidalgo at Joey Villarama. Dito lang sa inyong pambansang TV.
The National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, has completed the conduct of an investigation on the alleged threat made by Vice President Sara Duterte against President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the First Lady, and the House Speaker. The Department of Justice says it has already sent a prosecutor to NBI to assess the collected evidence. It can be recalled that last year, the Vice President said she had already talked to an assassin to eliminate the leader of the land, his wife, and the Speaker of the House in case something happens to her.
That the NBI had finished its investigation, but there's a need to further evaluate it, and we are sending prosecutors over to look at the evidence and evaluate the evidence that is in the custody of the National Bureau of Investigation. Depending on the outcome, we will be able to make a recommendation whether to have it considered filed already before the department, and or to return it to the NBI if there's a need to build up the case further and to add to the evidence that they have.
With the newly inflated rates for domestic helpers in the National Capital Region in effect, it comes as no surprise that neighboring region to the south, the Calabarzon, has taken the first step of pursuing the identical path with consultations by the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board and a review of existing pay rates. Philippine Information Agency Calabarzon correspondent Fred Moore Cavan sheds more light in this report.
Domestic workers in the Calabarzon region may soon receive a wage increase as the Wage Board consults with workers and employers to assess the need for adjustments to current rates.
And yung importance po ng event na ito is of course para marinig po yung saloobin ng ating mga kasambahay as well as yung employers to determine kung dapat po ba talaga, kung panahon na po ba talaga na itaas na ang minimum wage ng ating domestic workers for Region 4A.
At present, the highest minimum wage for domestic workers in Calabarzon is 6,000 pesos, set by a wage order issued in February last year. The board will review whether it is appropriate to set another round of increase based on the needs of domestic workers, the employer's capacity to pay, and the current socio-economic conditions in Calabarzon. Worker groups are calling for an increase to 8,000 pesos to help them cope with rising expenses.
Ang minimum wage ngayon, which is 6,500, ay hindi na po talaga nakakasapat para sa mga kasambahay. Kaya po kami, mga kasambay, ay humihiling ng pagtaas na hanggang 8,000 po pataas. Kasi sa tingin po namin, ito naman po ay karapat-dapat na kahit papano ay matutugunan po ang aming mga pangangailangan.
Some domestic workers like Vivian Posadas are also advocating for expanded benefits, including healthcare coverage and retirement allowances.
Sana rin po, mabigyan din po yung mga kasambay sa amin na nationwide po na patupad din po na yung ating social benefits po. Bigyan po kami ng social benefits sa ganun po kahit papaano ay makakuwang benepisyo para sa aming pagtanda.
Another public hearing is set in Bacoor City, Cavite on January 24. The board will then deliberate on any adjustments to the minimum wage, which is expected to be released next month. Domestic workers in Rizal are optimistic that the government will address their call for a wage increase and expanded benefits. From BIA Calabarzon, Fred Mercavan, Balitang Pambansa.
In other news, the Department of Social Welfare and Development and the Department of Health are focusing on preventing stunting and are pushing for a first 1,000 days grant for mothers. The DSWD continues to implement its Walang Gutom and Oplan Pag-abot programs to help those in need. Secretary Rex Gatchalian beams with pride over the agency's launching of its first ever food bank and soup kitchen with First Lady Luis Liza Araneta Marquez.
Ang DSWD, ang role namin is to bridge the gap between the pinakamahirap para mapasok natin sila at maging inklusibo. Kaya ngayong walang gutom, importante yan ma-expand na natin para once and for all by 2027, bago mo ba yung presidente, kaya natin sabihin na wala nang nagugutom na Pilipino.
It is clear the DOH vaccination program for tots and toddlers has reached far and wide. Of late, the DOH Center for Health Development seeks to reach a 95% coverage in the Soc-Sargent region by first reinforcing its various partnerships with NGOs and LGUs, as we hear more from the Philippine Information Agency Soc-Sargent's Stephen Patron.
The Department of Health Center for Health Development in Soc-Sargent is strengthening its coalition partnership with various sectors of society to reach the national target of a 95% immunization rate for children ages 0 to 5 years old. In light of this, the DOH-CHD held a coalition meeting this January to discuss issues and concerns aiming to increase immunization coverage in the region compared to last year.
The purpose of the regional coalition on immunization is really to harness the potentials from the different sectors of our society to help the DOH in trying to achieve a higher coverage in terms of immunizing our children.
The coalition plays a crucial role in leveraging the potential of sectoral partners to increase the immunization coverage for children in Soc-Sargent by 2025.
There are many diseases that can be prevented by immunization. It is very important so that we can get 100% population for our children, Filipino children, to get the complete vaccination.
We wanted for them to be involved, no, especially yung mga fourth-year students na on their internship program na pwede po nating i-involve and to take part in the community.
The DOH also sought for parents or guardians' cooperation, advising them to visit rural health units or nearest health facilities in the respective localities, ensuring their children are immunized and safe from vaccine-preventable diseases. From the Philippine Information Agency Soc-Sargent, Stephen Patron, Balitang Pambansa.
The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, has introduced a user-friendly online platform to acquire PSA certificates. This new platform allows individuals to securely request and receive their PSA certificates from the comfort of their homes. The website, psahelpline.ph, simplifies the process of obtaining PSA certificates, which can be accessed through a laptop or even a mobile device.
The National Commission on Senior Citizens, or NCSC, brought new hope to some former rebels, now called Friends Rescued, and internally displaced persons in Zamboanga del Sur by providing livelihood assistance. Philippine Information Agency Zamboanga del Sur's Harvey Bangayan has the full details.
The National Commission of Senior Citizens gifted new beginnings and hope to 4 former rebels, now referred to as Friends Rescued, and 13 internally displaced persons in Zamboanga del Sur through the provision of livelihood assistance. This is a pioneering initiative of the NCSC in the region, which aims to empower vulnerable sectors and support their journey toward economic stability and self-sufficiency. Beneficiaries are given livelihood kits, which include sari-sari store packages, ag-raising materials, food stalls, and rice detailing supplies depending on their business proposal. Pasito de Lomos, an FR beneficiary, shared his heartfelt gratitude to the program.
Nga namin sa bakan sa gobyerno. Ako kay pasalamat kining among pagbalik loob sa gobyerno. Kami nahiapil na niini nga programa sa livelihood sa gobyerno.
The program also included enterprise development training, which focuses on entrepreneurial mindset and business planning to ensure the sustainability of the beneficiaries' ventures.
This program seeks to transform the circumstances from one of dependency and marginalization to self-sufficiency and active community participation. So we believe that every senior citizen, because of your experience, because of your wisdom, skills acquired over the years, daghan ka yung mag-contribute sa itong nasod.
NCSC reaffirms its commitment to inclusive development and the welfare of marginalized groups by empowering FRs and IDPs with sustainable livelihood opportunities. From the Philippine Information Agency, Zamboanga del Sur, Harvey Bangayan for Balitang Pambansa.
2025 or the new year affords all of us to throw out the old, which did not work, for something new, and that, by all counts and indications, is a 2 thumbs up and surefire winner, wellness in body and mind. Precisely the President's vow to pursue for even stronger and more effective leadership, as we hear PTV's Clazel Pardilla's full report.
With the year just begun, many people are still contemplating their New Year's resolutions.
Diet muna tayo. Kasi sa maraming nakain tong bagong taon at saka Pasko.
Bakit gusto mo mag-diet?
Para sexy.
Makapag-provide pa ako ng mas marami pang services sa company. Siyempre, magiginabang ng pamilya ko rin.
Bilang nasa barangay kami, yung pagkakaisa, palalagaan na po natin.
Bagong taon, bagong Pilipino. That's the theme of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s New Year vlog. The President encourages Filipinos to begin change by practicing discipline.
Ang bagong Pilipino ay disiplinado. Disiplinado sa sarili, disiplinado sa sariling tahanan, disiplinado sa lansangan.
He emphasized the importance of discipline in health, finances, and keeping a clear mind by shutting out gossip and intrigue.
Health and fitness goals sa pagkain, paghawak ng pera, pag-iipon, disiplina sa oras ng mga gadget, disiplina sa pagmamarites at sa pananalita, disiplina sa lansangan, pagdadrive, pagtatapon ng basura.
What's the President's own New Year's resolution?
Ang New Year's resolution ko na para maging mas disiplinado, mas aalagaan ko ang aking kalusugan. Dahil sa dami ng aking ginagawa, bawal talaga magkasakit, bawal talaga na hindi makapasok, bawal talaga na hindi maganda at maliwanag ang inyong pag-iisip.
The vlog also made special mention of Filipinos who have brought honor to the nation, including the voice winner Safranio Vasquez as a symbol of Filipino excellence.
Magaling tayo, kaya dapat ilagay na natin sa ating pag-iisip na ngayon, hindi na pwede ang pwede na. Nakita naman natin, meron na naman tayong champion na si Safranio Vasquez. Ngayon lang nakilala, napakagaling talaga. Dapat yan ang mga hinahanap natin na mga magagaling at mahuhusay na bagong Pilipino.
Whatever one's New Year's resolution may be, the President reminds everyone to never forget love of country.
Ang bagong Pilipino ay mapagmahal sa bayan. There is a renewed sense of patriotism. Dapat sa ating mga New Year's resolution, lagi nating kasama ang pagmamahal sa ating minamahal na Pilipinas. Mas malalim ang kahulugan ng disiplina at pagiging mahusay kung ito ay nakaangkla sa pagmamahal sa Pilipinas.
From PTV Manila, Clazel Pardilia, Balitang Pambansa.
Happy Monday, everyone, and that concludes our rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Joe Fernandez.
This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Habiba Saripauda, and this is
Balitang Pambansa.